Welcome everyone to the first episode of Toonhounds from 2025.
Wow, 2K25.
Yeah, new year, not so new us. Did you... I should say, this is the Toonhounds podcast.
It
your
is
fortnightly foray into all things animated. Where
all
we've
of
left
things.
it longer than... Yeah, true.
All things animated. Nothing left behind.
No, nothing. We're going to do that Paula Abdul cat video soon.
We are, yeah. Opposites track.
So...
DJ Scat Cat. He's got an album. There's a full album of DJ Scat Cat. It's like 12 songs. It's awful.
I did not know that.
Really,
That's
really
interesting.
bad.
Scat has always meant shit.
Yeah.
Why would you name
a
character shit?
There's Scatman John as well, isn't there? And he's
yeah,
not
but I still think Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, exactly. You can't forget Scatman Crothers.
Yep. Anyway, did you make any... Well, first of all, did you have a nice festive period?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, I got a lot of Lego.
Good. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of Lego. I got a couple of board games, but
nice.
Evan got a lot of Lego. He got the Luke mech, which is the one that you got.
Yeah, I got the one. Yeah, it's cool. I turned it into an X-Wing instead.
It looks great. It's such a good one. Then he got the TIE Fighter and X-Wing mashup where you can take the wings off and swap them around.
Yeah.
But what he does is pretend they're in a dogfight and then just take one of the wings off and let it smash.
Yeah. That's the right way of doing it.
What else did he get? He got the Miles Morales drag car that comes with Morbius.
Oh, nice.
And what else did he get?
Everyone's favourite character.
Yeah. And then better than Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And then he got the Leviathan that comes with the Avengers that he was missing.
That's cool.
So he was very, very happy.
Yeah.
And then he got about 100 other presents because he's the only child in the family and everyone treats him like he's a little prince.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What did you get Lego-wise?
I'm going to have to think because I can't turn away from the camera to look at things.
I'm going to tell you two of the things you got. You got a plant.
No, I never.
Didn't you?
No, I never got a plant.
I thought you got a plant.
I got a parrot.
You got a parrot. That's what it was. I thought it was a plant. But you got a Polaroid camera as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the Polaroid camera. I got some kind of car. I think it's a Jaguar. I got the Tantive 4.
That doesn't seem like you.
No, I like the cars. I like the
Lego
car.
Right.
Yeah, I like the whatever the brand is that it's called. I like them.
Is it Technic?
No, it's
Designer Series?
Speed something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Speed Champions, I think.
I've never been into the Lego cars.
No, I like the cars. I think they look good on the shelf.
I'm more into the mechs.
Yeah.
I think the mechs look good.
I got Tantive 4 from New Hope.
Yeah, I do remember that. Because it comes with little mini dots to represent Leia, R2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, it's really silly. But the thing is, it's got the little dots to represent them, but then you cover them up with the shell of the Lego, so it's pointless.
It's just a nice little thing that they do inside to just make you happy to build it. In the what's the ship that Grievous has?
Oh, I don't remember the names of them.
Can't remember.
No, I don't really know the prequel stuff.
No, me neither. But they've got the little dots to show Obi-Wan and Anakin's fighters in the hangar bay.
That's fun.
Which is cool because they're yellow and red, I think.
Yeah. I got Simba as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, which is very good. It's a very nice one.
Yeah. Have you got room for all this? Because
they've ended up downstairs on different shelves and on the mantelpiece. Yeah, they're all over the house now.
Oh, that's good. That's like us.
Yeah. Because I've got no shelving left in my room. I've got no room
I was going to say you were... Because when I sent you the last batch of books, I think you were like, I've got nowhere else to put any more stuff now.
Yeah.
I took up your last space.
Everywhere's full.
But this week, I don't know how to segue into this.
Mithras, we could talk about the thing about Mithras. That was what Jesus turned into, and that was a Greek myth, wasn't it? Is that a segue? Yeah.
New year, new... no, I can't do it. No. We're talking Greek mythology. This week on Toonhounds, mainly because I wanted to watch Hercules. Yeah, because it's probably one of, if not my favourite Disney film.
It might be the best one.
It is. Effectively, I'm going to say this straight off the bat.
Yeah,
it's the story of Superman.
It's the story of Superman, the story of Jesus Christ himself, and the story of Rocky.
Yeah. They're all that monomyth, but this in particular has a Lois Lane.
Yep.
And it has a Lex Luthor.
It does, and it's got
in a big way.
A Perry. Perry
White. Yeah, Perry White.
Well, yeah.
And Jimmy Olsen is Pegasus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but we're going to talk about something else first.
Yeah.
Spivzy's. One of us has got to pick something that's a bit out there.
Yeah, and this is chosen entirely because I just remembered the name of it. And I remembered it existed. I've never seen it before.
I was explaining to someone last night about how sometimes we don't just pick things because we want to watch them.
Yeah.
It's because we've never seen them and we're intrigued by them.
Yeah.
I want to know if they're any good.
Yeah, so we watched Clash of the Titans, a Canadian cartoon. Which, I remember being on the TV, but I never watched it because I think it was like, I was a bit too old for that sort of thing at that point.
Was it 2006?
2005, yeah, so I was 14. So I was kind of at that, I don't watch cartoons anymore stage before, Adventure Time came out.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? Because I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Better than I thought it was going to be, both slow and rushed.
Yeah, they don't waste any time.
And I think its biggest suffering is the premise that it's high school kids.
Yeah.
Because I do not care for media that is focused on high school kids. It's like the worst bits about Our Real Monsters is that they're in a school.
Yeah.
The worst bits of Power Rangers is that they're teenagers in a diner.
It's like X-Men Evolution. They were all set in a school, but they tried their absolute hardest to never have anything happen in the school.
So it's like, why bother?
Yeah, there's not really much point to it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like the heroes have to be adults.
No.
I'm saying just forget the fact that they're at school. Forget it.
Yeah.
Perhaps they were worried that if they didn't show a school, it would encourage people to be truant or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. But then just don't make them teenagers. Because they're not. Their character design, to me, doesn't say teenagers.
No, it says mid-20s.
Yeah.
For a lot of them. Especially the... let me think.
The Hercules guy drives a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So that's not something a teenager would do. Is he meant to be like 15?
Yeah, you can drive at 17 in the States, though, can't you?
You can, yeah.
Or can you drive at 16?
Oh,
I don't know. It's a weird place.
Yeah, they don't care.
America's a weird place.
You can drive a car at 12.
Yeah. As long as you've got a gun with you for protection. Yes, we're mocking you, American listeners. Just don't take it too personally now. Yeah. But like, we were talking a little bit before. I like the character designs, but it was a bit angular.
It's very angular. It's very mid-2000s.
Yeah, and also, this might be the Canadian influence, but very French in its animation style.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's very Teletoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me, I remember saying to you that it reminded me slightly of Gargoyles, the animation, but slightly worse.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk about the premise and the story?
The premise of it is that the Titan Cronus, who was trapped in Tartarus for millennia, he has to wait for the planets to align so that he can gather up all of his magical cosmic energy and escape from prison. And when he gets out, he goes and sees an oracle who tells him there's going to be a group of teenagers who are going to beat you up and you're not going to be able to take over the world or anything because of these heroes. And then the rest of the episode is basically just meeting the three heroes in the space of 5 minutes. There's meant to be 7 of them, but we don't meet the rest of them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to meet all of them.
I wanted to as well, but it was really, really rushed to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you find out about Cronus trying to escape from prison. You see the main guy, Jay, who is meant to be Jason from the Argonauts, or like his great grandson or something.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What did Hercules say? There were like 7 or 8 generations removed, which doesn't make any sense.
Everybody would be 7 or 8 generations removed from them.
Yeah, 7 or 8 generations is
literally everybody on Earth.
But yeah, because 7 or 8 generations covers the span of about 200 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Yeah,
dependent on when you have kids.
I mean, like if you think, like you personally have 4 direct descendants, direct ancestors from your grandparents.
Yep.
Then that's 16, and then that's 32, and then 64, then 128.
Yeah.
That's only like 4 generations. So like
it becomes
800
exponential.
Years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
literally everyone on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, and we're just saying 800.
Yeah.
In that sense, it just doesn't make everyone's a descendant of everyone. If if you
go back far enough. Yeah.
If you're talking mythological people who don't exist, but if they did,
unless it was like inbreeding, where they're keeping the bloodline pure.
Well, that's Britain for you.
Yeah.
In fact, actually,
who are the main people in this silly show?
Mm-hmm.
They're all descendants of Greek mythological people, which I thought was pretty cool to begin with, until I realised that one of them is descended from a god, and I think that ruins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they're all like demigods or just heroes, like heroic figures from myth. But then you've got the woman who's directly descended from Artemis.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they should have done. So we've got somebody who's descended from Jason and the Argonauts. We've got someone who is descended from Artemis.
Yep.
And someone who is descended from Hercules. The only ones that we actually see in this episode. But other than that, in like the course of the series, you meet somebody who's descended from Achilles, from Theseus, Odysseus, and Narcissus.
What? Yeah.
Which is a weird choice.
Narcissus is a good... But I quite like that. I wanted to meet this guy who was arrogant and vain and like into his looks and stuff like that. That would have been like, it's the classic like coward character, right?
Yeah.
Like the knight from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I like that sort of thing. And I honestly really like that all of their names were somehow related to who they were descended from.
Yeah,
I like who they're meant to. I really like that.
But and it might seem corny to some people, but you've got, it's like having Peter Parker wear the same clothes for every episode. He's got to be recognisable.
Yeah.
So you need to know that, especially when you've got 7 characters in the main cast, you've got to know that Archie is Achilles, right? Yeah. Or Teresa is Theseus.
Yeah.
I like the premise of it is really good.
I really like the premise. I think I would, if this came out when I was like 8, I would have really liked this show.
Yeah.
One thing I did really like is that it's one of those shows where there's only like 2 main female characters in the cast.
Yeah.
Which is always a problem. But
yeah,
I did like that one of them was not descended from Aphrodite, because that would have been a really obvious choice for them.
They did some good character placement.
Yeah.
They didn't just descend them from women either.
Yeah. I would have liked if some of the male characters were descended from like goddesses.
Yeah, but are there any? Because I think they were going for demigod or what's vassal of the gods.
Yeah.
So like Jason wasn't a demigod, but he was a tool of the gods, right? Or not an oracle of the gods. What's the word I'm looking for? Someone who's given tasks by the gods, right?
Yeah.
And even Hercules, like I can see, because he's a demigod, he doesn't always have access to his powers in mythology. I can see that. I'm glad they didn't. There's not a lot of women demigods in Greek mythology, so
they're all.
They would have had to do.
It would have been
Artemis,
Persephone,
Hera,
I suppose.
Aphrodite, Persephone. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, or Hecate,
Eurydice.
Yeah, that would have been a weird one.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of damsels in distress in Greek mythology, isn't there?
You could have had the woman that Hera turned into a swan.
Oh yeah.
Or a bee.
Or the woman who got turned into a tree because for some reason. Well, they were on something in the Greek myth times, weren't they? They hated everyone. I don't know what was the deal with that. Did
you watch Chaos?
No, I never. I know you told me to, but I never.
It's really good. It's like I'm a big Greek mythology person. As soon as I read about it in school, I was like, "This is just superhero stuff."
I'm just gonna quickly send you an image of one of the villains in this. Is Polyphemus, the Cyclops, And you've got to see Polyphemus's Wikipedia article, the picture that they put on it, because it's so funny.
Wow, they've done him dirty there.
They really have.
But also, like, he looks like Pedro Pascal with a bullet wound in his head and a tiny, tiny micro penis.
Oh, it's great.
Carrying a rock in the most awkward way possible.
Oh God!
With his cheek.
Look at his rippling back muscles. It's got back pectorals. It's awful.
His back looks like the surface area of a brain.
It does. It looks like a walnut.
It's great. Yeah, it would have been good to see. I don't know how they aired this. If they aired like 3 episodes at once or something.
Yeah, they must.
Which
have,
probably we should have watched.
I don't know, because like the episode wasn't called like part 1 or anything.
No, it wasn't.
So that's not on us, I think.
I think the thing that was like breakneck was they introduced Kronos, and Kronos was essentially like he is the same design as Ra's al Ghul or like any just immortal god in modern day. Right?
Yeah, I immediately thought he was Hades.
Yeah, absolutely. And that perhaps they should have made him Hades.
Yeah.
But then in mythology, Hades isn't evil, is he?
Apparently he's not evil in this either. He's just like they have to go to and from the underworld a couple of times in the series. Because Persephone knows them. She's like helping him out. And he's just like fine with it. He doesn't give a shit.
It's a common misconception, isn't it? That Hades is like the underworld is hell, but it's really not.
It's not. No, it's
just
like
where
a necessary
you go.
evil. Yeah, it's just a thing. Yeah. Somebody had to be in charge of it.
Yeah. So, and then I don't even think, in terms of mythology, I don't even think there's much resentment there.
No,
it's just Zeus's brother.
Yeah. Zeus is probably worse than Hades.
Zeus is definitely worse than Hades.
Yeah. Zeus is
Poseidon definitely
terrible. Yeah. Oh, Poseidon's awful. Yeah, he's like a mass murderer.
I think the problem I had with this is they try and introduce Kronos. They try and introduce the 3 kids who feel like they're going to be the main kids.
Yeah.
But also then have to give them their powers, have them rebel, and then come to terms with it.
Yeah, but weird thing
all in the space of 25 minutes.
They never gave them any powers. They could
no.
They were just able to do this already.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought that was a bit strange. Like there should have been some kind of like, we are now gifting you the power of the gods or something. But then that would have been really funny because Jay's power of the gods is being a leader, which is not a power. That's just being
just the thing anyone can do. The weird thing is as well, he is the most unleader-like person. In this particular episode.
Out of the characters that we meet in this episode, I liked Jay the least. He seemed a bit too like blank slate that they're going to put heroic qualities on without him actually working towards those qualities. Like in this episode, there's a bit where he runs away from where Kronos and his people are. But then later on, it's kind of framed as him being a coward for running away. But that wasn't cowardly. Like, he would have been murdered. Like, he would have died.
That's sensible.
Yeah.
I think being a leader is about knowing when to disengage as well as engage, right?
Yeah. I need to close this picture of Polyphemus. It's like it's really
I turned away from it a little while ago. It was haunting me. All of his eyes were following me.
Oh man. I didn't like Jay. I really liked Harry, which is a stupid name. Just call him Harry. He didn't need to be called Harry.
Yeah.
I really liked him. I thought he was great. He was my
could have called him
character.
Hank.
Yeah, just something better than Harry, because that's not a name. Like, what's that short for?
Yeah. And he's like, he struck me as the laid back, Big Brothery type of, not Big Brother in 1984, Big Brother as in nurturing figure. Not dumb. Ben Grimm, that's who he reminds me of. Like, smart, but not as smart as some of the rest of them. Kind, empathetic, those sorts of qualities. But then he's the Hercules of the show.
Yeah, I liked him. Atlanta doesn't really get to do much in this one.
No.
The Artemis descendant. She's really quick, which is I like that bit where she's like running around in circles. But I like quick characters. I think they're cool.
I'm reading the Wikipedia article. A 15-year-old girl who's a descendant of Artemis, who is also a mentor and the second of the teenagers to be found. Born and raised in the Northwest Territories, she has a scar on her right shoulder from an incident with a puma.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a fight with a puma.
I mean, good. You probably got some trauma related to that.
Yeah. I wonder how much of this like actually plays into the story. Her past of being attacked by pumas.
I think like she would be the character who would annoy me. Like it feels like, so from what I've read up as well, she has like trapping and hunting equipment. As she always, and she enjoys hunting. Yeah. And it's like, what are you hunting? She sounds like a big game hunter daughter.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah. Like the first thing we see her doing is trying to hunt a deer. With two kids who run away from her, and I've got to wonder if they ever find out where she went.
No,
because by their perspective, she got picked up by a griffin and then disappeared forever.
That was so funny. That whole thing where they're picked up by the griffin. The griffin were just like the most. It was like they were picked up by statues. How badly they were animated. They're just like. Yeah, I thought the cell was sliding across the screen.
It was really funny that they just weren't bothered about the fact that any of this is happening to them. Like there's like they have a bit of a this is a bit funny. Like I didn't know we had these powers to it, but not to the extent you would expect from people who've just found out that A, Greek gods existed. Yeah, like that was all real. And B, they are descended from Greek heroes from myth and have superpowers. Yeah. There's no moment where they're like, this is a bit crazy.
Yeah. And it's the format, isn't it? Like, I get it.
A centaur turns up at one point.
Yeah.
They don't
what was he called?
Don't react.
What was he called?
It's an actual one. Yeah, Chiron. Yeah.
Chiron.
He's the actual, like, big dog centaur from myth.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Yeah.
It was, and he's like the sort of like the information downloader of the show. Yeah. He's the exposition person,
he's
the person who gives them their mission. And it was kind of like, okay, and they're still not questioning this.
Yeah, it's really funny.
One of them's like, when Hera turns up at the end, they're like, oh, it's Hera.
Yeah,
and it was like,
yeah,
what?
I thought it was very funny that there's a point where Jay is like info dumping on them about something and say, wow, you know a lot about this Greek myth stuff. Jay says, yeah, my mother's Greek. Everybody knows about Greek myth. Like, guys are weird for not knowing about this.
Yeah, that was so weird because when he said that, I was like, that is like saying, I know everything about the Saxons because I'm English. Yeah. Or everything about the monarchy. Of course I do. I'm English. Do you know a perfect shepherd's pie recipe? Yeah, of course I'm English.
It would be more like, do you know the perfect shepherd's pie recipe? Yeah, my dad's from Yorkshire.
Yeah. It's like it's just so weird. Just assuming that if your parents are from Egypt, they must instantly know about Ra, the sun god.
They just must talk about them constantly.
It was 7,000 years ago. I read an interesting fact now this week. Did you know that Cleopatra was born closer to the founding of NSYNC than the building of the pyramids?
Yeah. The ancient Egyptian empire was really, really, really long. It was like
it's crazy though.
It's insane. Yeah, like the Assassin's Creed game Origins. It's set in ancient, in inverted commas, Egypt, but
it's
all
not.
The pyramids and stuff are still like ruins.
Yeah,
and it's set in like 32 BC or something.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It's insane. It's insane. Like you forget like how long that dynasty was.
Yeah. A really, really long time.
But yeah. So, like, but just assuming that your parents are Egyptian and they know about Anubis.
Yeah.
Of course I know about Anubis. My mum's from Egypt. Stupid.
To shut up about Anubis, it's constant.
My middle name's Anubis.
So other than the main dudes who are like, hanging out doing stuff, we've also got a couple of the Greek gods who are helping him out. Which are, I think we meet Hera in this episode. We meet Artemis and Hercules, who's
a slob.
He's a slob, which I kind of like that trope of the big slobby guy who's actually got super strength.
Yeah, I
quite like that. Who was the woman, the goddess of war that they met?
Oh, because it's not. She's not the goddess of war. That's Ares.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. Was it? It wasn't. No, I was going to say something. And that
what was
stupid.
Her name?
I'm
gonna
Athena.
Control F war. Was it Athena?
It was Athena, but she's not. She's the god. She's the goddess of wisdom.
Yeah.
Athena is the goddess of wisdom.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that for this. Well, there must have been a reason to check, because that is like. Other than that, most of this is kind of mostly accurate to myth. Or was there a point where Athena was considered a goddess of war?
Oh, interesting. Athena, often given the epithet Pallas, is an ancient Greek goddess associated with wisdom, handicraft, and warfare.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's the brother of Ares, sister of Ares. But Ares is the god of war.
They both are.
Ares is the Greek god of war and courage.
So there's a god of war and a goddess of war.
Yeah. Although I imagine now it's...
Who's the Greek god of courage?
I don't know if there is a Greek god of courage. Well, Ares.
Ares,
courage and war, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. It's almost a Triforce.
I like that there is a god of wine and leisure.
Oh, yeah, Dionysus. Yeah. I like Dionysus. Voiced by Michael Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Dangerfield.
I don't recognise any of the voices.
I recognise the names, but I don't know from where. Like, I thought that we've watched a show with Kirby Morrow in before, because I recognise the name. But he was in the King Kong cartoon, which we've not watched that, but we did watch the Godzilla cartoon. And I think maybe the name came up when I was like looking into that.
I recognise Brian Drummond, and I don't know who that is.
And I recognise the name Ty Olsson, but I don't know where from.
Oh, it's Vegeta.
Yeah, there's a couple of people in this who were in the Ocean dub. The really, really bad dub, which lasted like 12 episodes.
And I recognise Gary Chalk as well, and I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I recognise that as well. And I recognise David Kay.
It's Optimus Prime in like some of the new Transformers stuff. He was in Godzilla, Freddy vs. Jason, The Fly 2. Yeah, you can check out his picture. He's super obvious. Yeah. He's been in loads of stuff.
I remember doing a David Kay from. He's Clank in Ratchet and Clank. Yeah.
And there's one other name I recognise, Tabitha St. German.
I recognise that as well.
Oh, she was in like Gundam, a couple of Gundam cartoons, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
That might be where we know it from, because that's quite a recent one that we watched.
Probably where we recognise her from. Yeah.
The bad guy in this, Cronus. I don't think he was a very good bad guy in this episode. He doesn't. It's got like the voice and everything, and he's got sort of like an imposing attitude, but I don't really understand what his motivations are or why he's doing anything.
No, it would have been good to have a villain open.
Yeah.
Like a proper, like...
show us why he ended up in Tartarus.
I would have rewritten this slightly. I know it's a cartoon, but I think like a retelling of this could have been that you show Tartarus... you show Kronos getting out of Tartarus.
Yeah.
You show the gods sacrificing themselves to put him back, and someone taking away their powers. And you could still have it as Hera, have her as the only existing god left, and having them squirrel away their powers.
That's a point, actually. Like, if the gods already exist, why do they need these kids to do everything?
Yeah. That was one of my big complaints about this. And then you could have adults find, even Jay, you could have Jay and, let's say, I don't want to make them people in the army, they're explorers, right?
Yeah.
They find the tomb and they have to, and Kronos, they accidentally release Kronos.
I've always been a bigger fan of these sorts of shows when the person who like is receiving great power from another source finds it themselves.
Yeah.
Like in a dungeon or something, instead of it just being, you are descended, this is your power now.
Yeah, this is your birthright.
It could have been anyone who got these abilities.
Well, the thing is as well,
that sort of thing.
If they released Kronos, they feel honour bound to put him back.
Yeah, like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Exactly like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. And then they're given the power to do it.
Yeah, I prefer
based on their personality traits and things.
Yeah,
because then you don't have to worry about them being descendants. You don't have to worry about them having the names. They could just be people. They could be like kids. You could have them as teenagers still, but they could be at university and they could be on a
archaeology
school trip or archaeology students or whatever. Or 2 of them are archaeology students and the rest are just going along because they're on their summer break. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they're all friends, but they're all, acquaintances or friends of friends and stuff. And they find it and they take the power in order to put Kronos back.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
That would have been
better,
nicer.
I think.
Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of descended power in media.
It's too monarchy for me.
Yeah, and it's too fatalist. I'm not a big fan of it. I'd prefer it if people get their power from active involvement in what's going on.
Yeah.
Picking up the magic sword or something.
Yeah, it means more.
Yeah. And
if you've got a personal investment in putting something right, it's far more positive than why they don't even know why they're doing this at the moment.
They don't. No. They
Whereas
just told
if you have.
This is a bad guy. He escaped from prison. We need to put him back. And
so if that happened to us, my first question to you would be, do you think they're on the level? What?
Yeah.
There's nothing...
This guy's been in prison for 4,000 years. Do you think he's served his time by now?
Yeah. I do believe that people can be rehabilitated. Yeah. So in a couple of thousand years, I'm pretty sure he's served his time. Let's go.
Yeah. It did make me laugh that Tartarus was just like a regular prison with just normal doors.
Make any sense.
Why did he knock out the prison guard?
I don't understand.
There's
a lot about the Tartarus scene I didn't really understand.
Yeah, because if he was just about to get his magical powers anyway, he could have blasted the doors off and then left. Why did he knock out the guard? I didn't get that.
I don't know.
After watching this, I did think, I really want to play God of War now. Like the originals.
I love all of the God of War games.
Yeah.
They've gone through like a bit of a change, but those first 3 particularly are really good.
I really like God of War 3. I think it's so much fun.
Yeah.
He's just so pissed off the entire time.
Yeah, I'm glad they changed him to be a bit more considerate, stoic, not angry all the time. Yeah.
But I mean, if you've just literally destroyed an entire civilization because you're that pissed off, where could you go from there? He had to have a turning point. It's like when all those comics where the Joker actually finally manages to beat Batman and then he goes sane for a bit. There has to be there has to be a turning point.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to go to another mythological place in God of War? Because there's been rumours about them going to Egypt for years.
Do you know what I'd like them to do? Here's my pitch for a new God of War game.
Yeah.
Zeus comes back, but is hiding the pantheon as Romans.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah.
So because the Roman and
Kratos
Greek myth
is looking at this picture of Jupiter.
Going, But I think that would be quite good. I think that would be Zeus has been back for 100 years and you haven't realised it because he's scared.
Yeah.
He's scared. He doesn't want you anywhere near him. Yeah. I'd like that. I don't want them going to Egypt. I feel like...
Yeah. I don't really know the next best place they could go. I'd want it to be still something European.
Yeah. But I don't know where that would...
No.
There's not really the great pantheon. See, that's it. You need a pantheon.
Yeah,
Norse mythology has a pantheon. Greeks... That's why I say Roman.
There's the Indian gods and the Japanese gods, but I wouldn't want to do a game about killing them off.
It'd be too Resident Evil 5.
I think it would be a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'd say that it would have to stay something European and also something which is like a dead mythology.
Yeah.
Like something that nobody's believed, like, you know, other than pagan practitioners. Like something that isn't a widely accepted belief.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do Roman. You could do Roman and not even have it anything to do with Zeus.
Yeah, you could, yeah. Yeah,
it'd just be a coincidence that they have similar powers. I mean, some of the Norse gods have similar powers. It doesn't make a difference, does it really? But they can't do anything more with Norse, obviously.
No.
But it might be nice to have a change of climate as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was warm.
Very snow laden.
Yeah.
But also, I don't mind if they leave the franchise for like 10 years again.
No, I don't mind either.
Those two games are perfect. They're really great. The story's really good and resonates. I think what might be quite a nice thing is if they left it so long that you thought that the game was about Kratos, but it was actually about Atreus as an older. But that would fuck people up. Like, people would be so pissed.
They would. Have like the intro level. He's in like full armor.
Yeah.
And then he takes his helmet off at the end, and it's not him. It's Atreus.
But he could look like Kratos.
Yeah, or he takes the helmet off and he's got the beard and the tattoos and everything. Then he peels the beard off and removes his temporary tattoos.
Does a Thomas Riker, takes the sideburns off. It's a niche reference. What did you think about this overall?
Overall, I thought it was fun. I thought if I would have really liked this as a kid, because it's if they had added in anything about them collecting something, like they had to go and collect, you know, talismans from the different Greek gods or something, or they had to find other people who were descended from. Yeah, that would have been a better one.
So if it had have been in our rewrite, if Jay had have been the one to find the thing, the temple, and accidentally
if he found like
Kronos, he would have
the Zephos. Is that what it's called, a Zephos? You know, that sword?
Yeah, the sword. Yeah. Then he would have to find people who were like the living embodiment, right? Yeah. So you know that Thor, J. Michael Straczynski forerun I sent you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where he has to find his pantheon.
Yes.
In they're as humans because they can't remember that they're gods.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
That would have been great. Yeah. That would be very Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Fuck, that J. Michael Straczynski run is so good.
It's really good, yeah.
It's really good.
Should we send in like a pitch to someone to reboot Clash of the Titans with our ideas? I think we've got something here.
We couldn't call it Class of the Titans, though,
No, we couldn't, no. Mass of the Titans.
Mass of the Titans?
Yeah, there you go. Because they're amassing a new pantheon.
The amassing of the Titans. It gets a bit wordy then, doesn't it? So if you could give it a score, what would you give it?
I'm not going to go crazy with it. Probably like a 6.
Yeah, I was going to go 6.
I thought there's a lot of problems with it, but there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 6 is still a good score.
I think as it went on, it would be a really fun show. I can see a lot of fun things happening.
It was, I would say, the first half of the episode was quite boring. After they got over the Griffins, I started to get a bit into
Hermes.
No, we didn't, and how annoying he was.
Yeah, he was awful. Who was he meant to be like? I'm sure he was meant to be based on someone, some actor, because his personality, like mannerisms, were so weird.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
No.
I didn't actually like any of the gods.
Not really. I liked Hercules for the small amount of time that I actually knew him.
Yeah, it was just a bit...
I thought that was funny when they're saying they thought Athena was going to be mean because she's the god of war. And then she's not. She's just making a breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite funny.
Cutting toast in half, a massive pile of toast.
Yeah.
That was weird. I would have liked it a bit more if the gods weren't in it, providing guidance.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. Yeah, because they don't need that many. It doesn't make any sense, because why would they need the help? They're gods. Well,
then you'd have room for the other characters in this first episode.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even if it was just glancing sort of reference to them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. They could have done that. Just have like a, showing them somewhere, like looking up at the aligning of the planets. What were all these about aligning of the planets?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a weird thing about... Well, even in the Hercules, the Disney one, the alignment of the planets is when the Titans can be freed, right?
Yeah,
it must be. Yeah. That must be quite...
It must be,
inherent
Unless
to the myth.
This stole it from Hercules.
Maybe.
Because this did come after. So
who knows? All right, yeah, I agree. A 6. I could see the potential, but I don't think it was quite here in the first episode. Yeah. But 6 is still a decent score.
It is, yeah.
It's a 6. Try it.
It's a 6. Try it. Yeah.
I think what we should have done in hindsight, but it's the curse of the pilot, right? Yeah. We should have watched a couple of episodes because we did the same with Superman, where we watched the pilot of Superman, the animated series. But in order to get the full branch of it, you have to watch the Krypton episode, the Smallville episode, and the Metropolis episode.
I mean, they need to just stop doing 3-part episode pilots.
Yeah.
Just stop doing it. Just have a normal pilot.
Yeah.
I mean, this came out literally 20 years ago.
Good God. All right, then. Shall we take a break?
Yeah.
I'll put an advert in. Yeah. I've already sent you some adverts, haven't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're both terrible. Enjoy, and we'll be back in a minute.
He's Hercules, Tower of Power, he's Hercules, feels power and weight, he's Hercules, Tower of Power, he's Hercules, loves a master's fight.
Slash his power sword against the man-eating Cerberus. Shoot his power bow and arrow at the three-headed Hydra. And wield his power assault blades to cut down the evil Echidna.
He's Hercules, Tower of Power, he's Hercules.
Legendary Hercules and monsters all sold separately. Figures do not move on their own.
Welcome back, Toon fans. We've let the cat out of the bag already, or the Pegasus out of the bag. Or, whatever.
Tatzelworm out of the bag, is that a great one? I don't remember.
If it is, then we've done it. Let the Hydra out of the bag. We picked Hercules, the 1997 Disney film, for the other pick.
What a movie.
What a movie. It is... We... both agree that it's probably one of, if not the best Disney film. Traditionally animated Disney films.
Yeah, out of everything that's traditionally animated, I think this is the best one.
I think it's, I'll say some things. I think this is, it's taken in... It's obviously influenced by the myth of Hercules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, it's a direct... interpretation of the Superman origin story.
Yep.
Because you've got a Lois Lane and you've got a Lex Luthor and Rocky. Yeah. Because there's all the stuff with Philatites and stuff like that is definitely a bit Rocky, isn't it?
Yeah. All the stuff in the Big Olive.
Yeah. You've got probably one of the best soundtracks to a Disney film.
Yeah.
I mean, Go the Distance is probably one of the best Disney songs there's ever been, even though it was written by Michael Bolton.
It's so good that they rewrote it for Moana, because How Far I'll Go is the same song.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same song.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think. Meg is... We've said this as well. Meg is probably the best Disney princess.
Yep.
They got around not having traditionally ethnic diverse characters by having the muses be in the film, which I think is an absolutely great choice.
Yeah. I've got a fun fact for you about the muses.
Go.
The original plot of this, they were going to have the Spice Girls play the muses, but they had to drop out.
Bad.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible. I think Destiny's Child could have done a good job here.
Yeah.
But there's not enough of them.
No, there's not. There's only 3. I mean, there's 9 muses in the mythology, and we only get 5 in this one.
I think 9 would have been pushing it.
It would have been, yeah. That's like a K-pop group.
You've got probably one of the best supporting characters in Phil.
I love Phil.
Phil's great. I mean, Danny DeVito's just excellent in every single thing he's in. I love him so much. He's just great, isn't he?
When they were doing the casting for Philoctetes, Danny DeVito declined to audition for it.
Yeah.
And they got loads of other people audition for it, like Steve Martin auditioned for it.
Right.
And so I can't remember who it was. I think it was Red Buttons said, there's no point in me auditioning for this because you're just going to go and ask Danny DeVito to do it. And then they found Danny DeVito like eating pasta somewhere and said, "Do you want to play Phil?" And he said, "Yeah, sure."
Wow.
Yeah.
You've got probably the best Disney villain, one of the best Disney villains.
A Disney villain and a real life villain. You don't get that very often.
Yeah. James Woods back when he wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Which was, that lasted, 15 years before his brain turned into dust?
Yeah, before he became a boomer, ate some lead paint. You've also got two of the best minions in Panic and Pain, who are Matt Frewer and Bobcat Goldthwait.
I thought it was pretty good decision to call them Pain and Panic instead of Phobos and Deimos.
Yes, I agree.
People wouldn't have gotten it, I don't think.
No.
It's a bit catchier.
Yeah, I think so. There's just loads of really good character designs in this as well. Like all the gods look great. I love that they are almost like living statues in monocolour.
They're so well designed for a lot of them that you only see in a passing flyby at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need to do a full design for Narcissus, who's in one frame of one joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet the people who made the cartoon series afterwards were glad of that.
Yeah. I never watched much of the cartoon series, did you?
I did, yeah. Yeah. I was at the right age. I mean, Hercules was, every kid has one movie that they watch over and over and over and over and over again. This was mine. So, watching this again, I remembered every single line from this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I watched it more in my sort of adulthood, I think, than my childhood.
I
can't remember what the term was. My child age.
Your younghood.
But this is... I think what draws me to this so much is because it's the fact that it's got a decent woman character in it. Meg is... She has her own agency. She's driven. She's been hurt and so isn't keen to be the love interest.
Yeah.
And when she falls in love with Hercules, it feels like it's for the right reasons.
Yeah. It's not like a
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it's not her realising that she's in love with someone. It's her trying to deny that.
Yeah. I mean, Won't Say I'm in Love is just such a great song.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Yeah.
Her denying that she has feelings for Hercules. Well, also the fact that she is a femme fatale, effectively.
Yeah.
She's an agent of the enemy. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it.
You should have by now.
Yeah, you should have. It is, nearly 40 years old.
No, don't say that.
No, 30 years old. 30 years old.
Shit.
It's nearly 30 years old.
I'm not that old.
Yeah, it's not 1987. It's 1997.
Yeah.
But, she is just very multifaceted.
Yeah.
She's got a great voice. She's just one of these perfectly captured characters. I mean, she's got some anatomical issues because I have no idea how she is able to stand with that amount of scoliosis. But
she hasn't got much of a waist.
No. And her hair is ridiculous.
The hair. That's something I've got to say about the character designs in this movie. I love how everything kept the swirls.
Scrolls, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. Everything is designed. Zeus's nipples go like it.
Hercules' chin.
Yeah.
It's really fun. The knees as well. The knobbled knees that are scrolls. It's very... Yeah, you'd think you had seen it scribbled in a book.
Yeah, it goes well with the designs that they have on the crockery throughout the movie. It's the same kind of same sort of design. I like that Phil kind of, but not exactly, looks like the fauns and the satyrs from Fantasia.
Yeah,
I thought that was a nice touch because it's kind of. I don't know if they did it purposely as a callback to the fact that they have talks about Greek myth in the past.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because this would be the first, maybe it's first or maybe only Disney movie which is about mythology rather than a fairy tale or a contemporary story.
Yeah, probably.
Because I can't think of any others. So that kind of it separates it a lot from the other Disney movies. Which is I think it's quite good that they did like a sort of a new design to things, but still kept in that Disney charm.
Yeah. I think, like, it's like we said, though, that, like, Greek myth lends itself to superheroism.
Yeah.
To, like, these bombastic, sort of, like, big character arc stories, right?
Yeah.
Because you could have done a Disney film based on the Argonauts. You could have done one based on Odysseus. You could have done one based on Theseus.
Yeah, I think the original plan before they settled on Hercules was going to be a Homer's Odyssey as a movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all like big heroic stories, big tales of personal growth and champion-esque sort of like archetypes, right?
Yeah.
So they could have just made Disney do like 10 of these sorts of films, and I think all of them would have been good. I think you're probably right. It probably is the only one based on actual mythology.
Yeah.
I suppose they don't want to touch that well too
Aladdin's
much.
Close, isn't it?
Because it has become... Like, if Aladdin had have been Alibaba, I think that would have been closer to myth, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they never really used Alibaba and Aladdin and made one story.
Yeah. I think, does he show up in one of the sequels?
There's the Treasure of the 40 Thieves is one of the sequels, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't remember if Alibaba is in it.
Or is it... Yeah, because his dad is like the king of thieves.
Yeah. Where were you, Dad?
I love that. There's a fan theory that when Aladdin wished to be a prince, that's why his dad is the king of thieves.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Right, so we should probably just frame it. So this film was released in 1997, directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, who were the masterminds behind Basil the Great Mouse Detective,
brilliant,
The Little Mermaid, Aladdin,
it's a fine one. Aladdin's good. I like Aladdin.
Hercules, obviously, Treasure Planet. Which you're not too fond of, are you?
I think it's fine. I don't really like the non-musical early 2000s Disney movies that they released.
Well, that's the thing. I think if it had have had musical numbers in it, I think Treasure Planet we would be talking about it in the same sort of vein as some of these others.
I mean, I always think that Titan AE is a Disney movie from the early 2000s, which is really saying something.
It's because it's got such a great soundtrack. That's why it kind of fools you. Excellent Don Bluth film.
Yeah.
I love Titan AE. Princess and the Frog and Moana. So it's a pretty hefty back catalogue there. So the plot, I mean, I'll whiz through it quickly. Zeus and Hera have a son. Hades is typically in his usual portrayal of a villain. Is jealous of the fact that all the gods are on Mount Olympus while he has to tend to the underworld. He is given through the fates, told that he will be the one to help Olympus fall by freeing the Titans. But if Hercules fights in this battle, then he will die. Yeah. Or he will fail. And
the bit where they talk about like when the planets align in 18 years, the way that I remember it in my head is the opening cutscene to the PlayStation 1 game of Hercules. So in my brain, like when I remember it, it's in like 144p with broken audio.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it's really good.
All those Disney games are good.
Yeah.
Apart from, which one was the shit one? What is it? Pocahontas, the one where she gets these animal powers. That was
God, yeah, the one on Genesis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Genesis, Mega Drive. I don't know why I called it Genesis for.
Because everyone around us does, that's why. So Hades sends Pain and Panic to kidnap and poison Hercules, but they fail because they don't feed him every drop. So he retains his godlike strength, but is stripped of his immortality. Then, he grows up as a demigod. He is found in a very Mar and Pa Kent way.
Yes, yeah.
And saves them from snakes.
Yeah, I liked that him being saved by snakes was a nod to the actual myth. Yeah. Because Hera sends snakes to kill him when he's an infant, and he strokes the snakes out. There's quite a lot of references to the actual myth, but as a whole, it's really inaccurate to the stories that have been told.
you get some of the labours of Hercules in montage as well.
Yeah.
But like you say, they're wildly inaccurate. Inaccurate to a myth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're a bit more child friendly. Like, there's nothing about Hercules going insane and killing Meg and his kids.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, but he is left with the seal of Zeus that he wears around his neck as a baby. Yeah. And years later, when he is ostracised by his people, I don't know where he grew up. Is he on Thebes?
No, he goes to Thebes later. Because that's where
he lives on an island, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they travel to Thebes to prove that he's to train and to be the hero of Thebes. But we don't wherever his people ostracise him for being a clumsy,
Wayne Knight
heavy-handed. Yeah, exactly.
that made me laugh when Wayne Knight shows up.
That was good, that scene, because he looks like him as well.
He does, yeah.
Whenever he is voicing something, like in Toy Story 2, I'm always like, this film is miles better from having him in it. But yeah, so he is ostracised. He goes to the Temple of Zeus, and the statue comes to life and reveals to him that he is his son and gives him his childhood flying horse Pegasus.
That is a really, really good scene when the statue of Zeus comes to life.
Yeah, and he's shit scared. Because there's a lot of statues coming to life in Greek mythology as well.
Yeah.
And like even in like, does the statue of Colossus come to life in Jason and the Argonauts? Is that what I'm thinking?
Is that one?
I can't remember. It does come to life in one of those stories. But he sends him to Philoctetes, who is a satyr who trains heroes. So he trained Achilles and loads of others. He said, in true Danny DeVito, not singing a song, but saying a song.
Like a Jimmy Durante sort of style.
It's really good. It's like Will Shatner doing Rocket Man type of song. He tells them about the heroes that he's trained that have failed, and Hercules is able to convince him and train and get buff.
Oh, he gets massive.
Yeah.
He gets some proper reps in. It's huge.
I assume it must be a few years.
I think it's meant to be. He's meant to be about. Well, it's when the planets align and the Titans can be released from their cage. It's meant to be 18 years from his birth, so he must be 18.
So when he went to Phil, he was what,
15?
14, 15? Yeah. So good on him for sticking with it.
Yeah.
On the way to Thebes, though, because Phil wants a hero of Thebes. Like every city should have a hero. Like, Metropolis has Superman, Gotham has Batman, that sort of thing. And I can't not reference DC because
it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but Greek myth is like the basis for DC.
Yeah,
it really is. So they find Megara, Meg for short, who is being bullied by a centaur. Like I assume
Nessus? I think his name's Nessus.
Does she owe him money? Is that what he's trying to say?
I think so. I don't really remember that part.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but she's there in real life. She's there because she's trying to recruit him to Hades' team.
It's such a good story.
I don't know why did she doing that though? Couldn't Hades do it? Or is that just like a power play?
I think it's just a power play. Like, you. I think he's trying to kill two birds with one stone because he doesn't want he doesn't want her getting her soul back, but he knows that the way to an 18-year-old's heart is through his penis. But Megara owes Hades her soul, because she sold it to him in exchange for her boyfriend's health and life, who eventually left her for another woman.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anyone. I was trying to think, is there anybody in myth who that could be? Then I thought, no, there's probably like hundreds of people in Greek myth who cheated on their wife.
Yeah. And like, we're all, we all know the Eurydice, Odysseus.
Who's the other guy?
Orpheus, that's it.
Orpheus,
Orpheus, Odysseus.
I was like really second guessing myself on the name Orpheus, and I was thinking like Orphanupheus. Orpheus.
Orpheus,
A lot of us's.
Yeah, so Hades then sends the Hydra to Thebes, and no one thinks he can do it, but he does.
And that Hydra fight
it's good.
Oh, it's like, if there is a reason to watch this movie, it's for the Hydra fight, because even with, like, you know, current ideas of how we can do animation, it is so impressive, that fight.
Well, the thing is, they do the same thing that the two directors do in Basil the Great Mouse Detective, is that they use computer animation in order to enhance the animation. So the clock tower fight is the first use of computer animation in a fight scene, isn't it? Disney animation. And they do the same thing in this to create this big set piece that's really great.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It would have been impossible to do that hand-drawn animation with that many necks and stuff and heads. I think there's 30 at the end.
Yeah, it's insane.
They wouldn't have been able to do that hand-drawn. It would have been impossible to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
It is really good. It must have taken them like a year to finish animating that bit.
I wouldn't be surprised, because it is very, very detailed and very complex.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it looks cool as well.
Yeah, it does.
A rare example of gore in a Disney movie as well.
Yeah, cutting off the heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's one of the more grown-up Disney animated films, I think.
Which is that's interesting, because they decided to make Hercules more of like a light-hearted thing, because the previous two movies they'd done were Pocahontas and Hunchback of Notre Dame, and a lot of the criticisms they got were that it was too grown up and like doing too adult themes. So
but then you've got
they still ended up being quite adult with this one.
Yeah, because when you think about it, Meg's complexity is quite a grown-up concept. Like, she was betrayed by the love of her life, or what she thought was at the time, and sold her soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And
something
then
that you often get. Like, did they? I don't really know if they had much of a idea of souls in Greek myth. Like the same concept of them that we have, colloquially.
You had to have worth, didn't you? You had to be honourable to you had to honour the gods your whole life to pass through
the eye of a needle. Yeah.
The veil. The equivalent of Valhalla, whatever that would be in Greek mythology.
Yeah, kind of Elysium, was it?
Elysium, that's
Fields?
it. Elysium, yeah. Because that's the stop that Blanche Dubois is trying to get to in Streetcar Named Desire. I remember that. We're a well-read, intelligent podcast, people.
We really are.
So
we watched a lot of movies.
But so in a way they have a sense of the soul, but you're right, not in the Western sort of like Christianity informed soul. But I suppose that's just an extension of Greek myth, right?
Yeah,
worth and a soul and something that's been given to you rather than
like,
you've earned.
Weighing your heart against the weight of a feather.
Yeah, exactly. But they're quite complex concepts for a young kid, I think.
Yeah.
But you don't need to, the joy of this film is that you don't need to get that. You don't need to really understand that in order to enjoy the film. Like the best kids' films that have a grown-up contingent that you don't have to get as a kid. Like the Shrek films. Well, the first one. But yeah, so Hercules goes through a montage of killing villains and then and mythological creatures, and is told still by Zeus that he's not a hero yet, but he won't explain what that means. He won't explain what it means to be a hero.
So he has to figure it out on his own.
Yeah, exactly. Meg and Hercules over this period, which I assume is quite a long time, have fallen in love, and Hades takes Meg hostage but tells Hercules he won't free her unless Hercules surrenders all of his strength. And Phil knows that. I can't remember how he finds out. He listens. He hears overhears the conversation, doesn't he? And Hercules accepts and shuns Phil because he's in love and he's thinking with his boner. But then Meg tries to tell him not to do it as well, because she knows that she is, for want of a better term, damaged goods, and doesn't want him to sacrifice his innocence for someone who has been lying to him.
Yeah, another rare thing for a Disney movie: an on-screen death.
Yeah.
Don't see them very often.
No, because Meg is killed as Hades unleashes the Titans.
Yeah.
She saves Hercules from a falling pillar. This breaks Hades' deal because he promised that Meg would be unharmed. So Hercules regains his strength. And then, Hercules and Pegasus fly to Olympus and free the gods to vanquish the Titans, but Meg dies.
Yeah.
Dies, and no one can do anything about it. So to recover her soul, he has to go to Tartarus and jump in the river Styx.
Yeah. It's really cool. The visual.
It was
visual
so
thing here.
good.
Yeah.
Because it's very, I got the feeling that this is why they did Ursula's grotto in this way, because that's very like the imagery you see in Hades in the Styx, don't you? With the hands coming up and stuff. So Hades tells Hercules, you can have her soul as long as you can retrieve it, knowing that he will die by swimming in the river Styx by getting it.
That's his heroic act, and he ends up becoming a god again. Yeah.
But he chooses to return to Earth as a demigod in order to be with Meg and protect Thebes.
Yeah.
That's
another one that's accurate to the myth as well, because Hercules didn't live in the Pantheon. He did live on Earth. He was like the gatekeeper between Olympus and the mortal plane. Yeah.
Like Thor.
Yeah.
Just talking about it just makes me happy. I had like this sort of like just recounting the story and how good it is. It's a perfect story.
It's
really great.
Yeah. I can't believe it's taken this long for them to make a musical, because there's the on-stage musical is just like, it's become big recently, like in the last year.
It's just so good. I really like Tate Donovan as Hercules. I think he's really earnest and really just good. He would have made a good Superman.
He would have, yeah. He always comes back to play the character as well whenever Hercules is in anything. He's in all the Kingdom Hearts games, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did no, they got the guy sounds like Danny DeVito to be Danny DeVito.
They did, yeah. And in the in Kingdom Hearts 3, it was just after I think it was the Japanese voice actor for Phil had died recently, so he doesn't have any lines. There's like a
that's a shame.
Yeah, so they didn't. He's in the game, but he doesn't say anything. He's just sort of there. But people have modded in him having lines, which I can sort of see the reasoning behind it, because they did it as like a remembrance to him.
Yeah.
But it is a bit weird that he's just like sort of sat on the back of Pegasus and not saying anything.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better to just not have him in the game.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a strange one. But yeah.
It's great. I can't say anything more about it.
Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's brilliant. I like that they never tried to do a sequel, because I don't think it would have been as good.
No.
I hate that they want to do a live-action remake.
I don't make live-action remakes of films that are already perfect.
Yeah.
Make a live-action Black Cauldron. That I can get behind.
Yeah, a live-action Oliver and Company.
Yeah, a live-action...
Fox and the Hound. That one's rubbish. I hate Fox and the Hound.
Oliver and Company, Fox and the Hound, Brother Bear.
Oh, man. Live-action Brother Bear. Shit. Live-action Home on the Range with like CG cows. Do you want to see? Here's something really like terrifying.
Yeah.
In June 2022, it was announced that Guy Ritchie, who had previously directed Aladdin remake, had signed on to direct the film.
Jesus.
Joe Russo told Games Radar Plus that the remake would play homage to the original with a more modern spin on it, and revealed that it would be a modern musical inspired by TikTok. What does that mean?
I don't know.
How can it be inspired by TikTok? That's like saying it's a modern musical inspired by the newspaper industry. It doesn't make any sense.
A modern musical inspired by the noble art of roof tiling. I don't want a live action remake. It's great.
I don't. No, it doesn't need one. Every time they've made a live action Hercules, it has been a pile of dog shit.
When will they realise that the thing that we like about animation is animation?
Yeah. It really annoys me. I wish they would stop. The Snow White movie looks terrifying.
It really does. She is one of the 4 horsemen of getting me not to watch a film, Gal Gadot. Along with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm trying to think of anyone else that just turns me off of a film instantly.
I get turned off by Chris Pratt most of the time.
Yeah, he is
but
a bit...
He
did redeem himself in Mario.
Good. Yeah. It's annoying. I don't like him, but he keeps being in movies that I like.
Woody Allen's one of the horsemen.
Yeah, James Woods is ironically.
There you go. They're the 4 horse people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just leave it.
Yeah, it's really unnecessary.
It's a perfect film as it is. Like the thing that's really going to annoy me is once they finish with shitty Disney remakes, they're going to go on to like Ghibli, and we're going to end up with a Princess Mononoke live action film, and it doesn't need it.
No.
Do you want to? Have you ready to Frank Welker fact of the week?
No, I haven't.
He's Pegasus.
Who is?
Frank Welker.
Oh, shit! Really? That's funny.
Yeah. Of course it is, because it's an animated.
It's an animal. Yeah.
Do you know Keith David played Apollo?
He's Apollo.
He's in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Charlton Heston is the opening narrator.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
The thing I find wild is that they actually gave the guy that Wayne Knight plays a name.
Yeah.
It's Demetrius.
I like that Jim Cummins is Nessus, and he is the chief guard in Agrabah in Aladdin. Because you can tell that voice instantly that it's him. I genuinely probably I do think it's my favourite Disney movie.
Yeah, I'm torn between this, Zootopia, and Encanto.
Yeah, Zootopia is great.
Yeah,
Zootopia.
Those are my favourite Disneys.
Traditionally animated, I think this might be my favourite.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's this or Aladdin, but I think this doesn't come with as many cultural insensitivities as Aladdin does.
Yeah.
But yeah,
do you want another fun fact?
Yeah, I do. Of course I do. You know me.
Patrick Stewart was originally going to play Zeus, but he had to drop out because he had scheduling conflicts with Star Trek Nemesis.
And interestingly, that's the second week in a row that we've talked about a film that Patrick Stewart had to drop out of because of scheduling conflicts, because he was going to be the narrator for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. He's always getting scheduling conflicts.
I mean, I could see why. Like, the guy's in demand, right?
Yeah,
that voice
when he was in the 90s, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so if you had to give it a score...
I don't want to give it a 10, but I'm aging towards giving it a 10 because I do really, really love this movie. I'm going to give it a 9.9.
All right,
I'll
give
James
it a 9.5.
Woods wasn't in it.
I mean, the thing is, it's that whole thing about at the time and trying to separate the art from the artist, right?
Yeah.
He was a decent enough human being at the start. At this time. I mean, he even improvised a lot of his Hades lines, so I'm kind of like...
I mean, like when they were making the movie, he said that he wouldn't get paid for it if it meant the movie could get made, because they were running out of like financing and stuff. I mean, that's pretty decent, but then again, he's a maniac now. He's a massive shitheel.
Yeah. He's got, like, the brainworms.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately... and it's something I am trying my hardest to remember every time someone pisses me off. Comfort and old age tend to drive you towards conservativist viewpoints, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where, I'm relatively comfortable and I've got a family and got the things I need. And I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
But I can see how people get like it.
Yeah.
I can totally see. They let the toxins creep in and they just create their own little echo bubbles. And so, like, it's like a vigilance thing that you have to stave off those sorts of ideals because they just poison you and they end up killing you anyway.
Yeah.
So, that went too real. 9.5, I'd give it.
9.5, wow.
That's probably one of my highest ratings because I'm notoriously stingy.
Yeah.
I think this is close to perfect. Every song is great. Every voice is great. And it's just like Rip Torn as Zeus is great.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I wish he'd gone a
Susan
bit more
Egan.
into it, though.
Yeah, I wished he had as well.
Because sometimes he goes, Rip Torn would go like really like insane in his roles. Yeah.
But you think about the small cameos. You've got Keith David. You've got Corey Burton. You've got Jim Cummins. You've got Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt Frewer. You can't genuinely. I don't think you can get much better in terms of voice casting.
Yeah.
Just yeah. The muses are great. I love like the opening of the film with the muses is just fantastic.
Great way of doing it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before this, you would never like have associated gospel music with Greek myth.
No.
But now they kind of like are intrinsically linked because of this movie.
I think it's, like I said, it was like, you know, if you're telling an accurate representation of Greek mythology, yes, there aren't going to be that many people of colour in the cast. So make the muses like gospel singers. Yeah. Absolutely. That works so well.
And I love the Fates as well. We never mentioned the Fates.
Yeah, we didn't mention the Fates. I love them. Their designs are so
good
with the rusty scissors.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, sharing the eyeball
of those scissors is like ingrained in my soul.
It's one of them's Amanda Plummer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember who the other two are.
Carol Shelley and Paddy Edwards.
Yeah, can't really remember those. Like where I would have encountered those voices from, but I instantly recognised Amanda Plummer. She's got such a cool voice. It's just great in so many ways. It's like I'm glad that it comes from. You can see the influences of Aladdin and Basil and Little Mermaid on. Yeah, I think they learnt their lesson about female characters from Little Mermaid.
Yeah, there's in. I Won't Say I'm in Love. It's got like the tune from Kiss the Girl at the end of it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. A nice Lion King reference when Hercules has the pelt of Scar.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that like canonically this Aladdin and Lion King all take place at the same time.
Yeah. It's good. I love it. I absolutely adore it. Should we take another break and we'll come back and read some emails?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Give me a chance to open up my emails.
Oh, right. Well, then we'll see you in a little bit.
20 minutes later.
Hermes, messenger of the gods, hearken unto Zeus!
What's up, dude?
You've stolen the drink of the gods. Now suffer my wrath. As punishment, you must hand over your winged sandals.
I don't need these ancient Greek sneakers anyway. I found something better.
Better than the divine ambrosia?
Yeah, it's Red Bull.
Red Bull, a new drink of the gods?
Nah, it's a new cold drink on Earth. It's more fun down there anyway.
And how do you plan to get back without your winged sandals?
With Red Bull, it gives you wings.
Welcome back. It's some people's favourite part of the show.
Everyone's favourite part.
Where we read emails and clumsily decide on the next show's subject matter. So, without further ado, I pass you over to my fellow host. They are going to read some emails for you.
Hello, I'm here as well. We've got an email here from Matthew, who was on our last episode as a special guest. So go back and listen
loves
to that
Hercules as much as we do.
Everybody loves Hercules as much as we do, because if they don't, they're an idiot.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
They're one of those people who likes Atlantis more than Hercules.
Oh no, we're calling people out.
You know who you are.
Booking people. It's entitled Herc is the Hero. Sup, Hounds. I always loved Greek mythology as a kid, and actually my nephew is really into it and had a Greek mythology themed birthday party last year.
Wow.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That is cool. Did you ever, because I was super into it as well, into Egyptology.
Same. Yeah, I was super into Egypt because I was scared of mummies, so I got into it to stop myself being afraid of them.
Well, so Stargate the movie had come out when I was super into it as well, so I was like, oh god, this is great for me. But those encyclopedias and stuff of ancient Greek mythology where you could find out about the gods or their powers.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, they were great.
Big Book of Egypt and stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. He said, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about musicals, specifically Alan Menken. Alan Menken and Howard Ashman made Little Shop of Horrors, which is probably my favourite musical, and that landed them a role at Disney for Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. Howard Ashman passed away due to complications from AIDS in 1991, and Menken never really got the same spark with any other lyricist.
Yeah.
The best songs in Aladdin were Ashman holdovers like Friend Like Me, Prince Ali and Arabian Nights. So Hercules may actually be the best work Alan Menken did after Ashman died. I have a soft spot.
he did Enchanted and Tangled and that does make sense.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the later 90s Disney stuff, but come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, tangential question time. What are your favourite musicals? This is more of a Spivzy question, I think. I don't think I've ever heard Rich talk about musicals. I've heard you talk about musicals.
I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, except if they're Disney.
That's a good one, yeah.
Because I don't like My Fair Lady or West Side Story or Sound of Music.
Anything before like maybe Assassins the musical. Anything from like before then, I'm not really that into. So probably like 1983 onwards is when the good stuff started coming out.
Yeah.
Like I really like Rocky Horror.
Yeah, I mean Rocky Horror I love in spite of the fact that it's a musical though. It's just a great film.
My favourite musical is Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, which is a musical based on the fifth book of War and Peace, I think. It's like it's based on like a couple of chapters in the middle of War and Peace, which is about the coming of Halley's Comet, and before it's before Anatole is sent off to war where he loses his leg, and it's about Pierre and Natasha and the relationships between all the cast and the Bezakov family, and it's really good. It's my favourite musical I've ever listened to.
That's great.
I love the Groundhog Day musical that Tim Minchin made.
Oh, that is so good. Like, did you go to see it?
No, never got the chance. No.
So they did the police car chase is the absolute best thing in the film, but they turn I can't remember her name, but
Rita.
Rita, that's her name. They turn her into a credible character.
Yeah, it's great.
Musical.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the best musical I've ever seen.
Yeah.
At the theatre.
Yeah. Trying to think of other musicals that I really like.
Mary Poppins.
It's fine. Mary Poppins is fine. Like all of those older ones, I'm not that big into. I don't really like orchestral musicals.
Yeah, I get that. I think Mary Poppins was like a bit formative, just because of the time it came out or the time I saw it. Really, I do like a contentious. I do like Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain's fine. A contentious one. I actually really like the Mean Girls musical, which I know that a lot of people don't. It gets a lot of criticisms for being like a bit basic, but I think it's quite good. I really enjoy listening to it. Waitress is a really good musical. The Beetlejuice musical is fantastic.
I've never seen that either.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good musicals that have been out in the last couple of years.
I mean, Little Shop of Horrors is a great shout.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors is really good. I love The Producers.
Yeah, The Producers is really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good musicals. I had one in my head, but it's gone now. Oh, Heathers. Heathers is really good.
Heathers is good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so turn it around. What are some of the worst musicals?
Freaky Friday. It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stage production of Freaky Friday is really, really bad.
I don't like... I'm not a big Wicked fan.
Oh, I like Wicked. I like the first half of Wicked. I'm going to go see it on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not keen. I like, do you know what I do like that's a musical? I like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Do you?
Yeah. I think like it's a great film. I remember watching it as a kid. I don't like Grease because I don't like the message in it.
No, I don't. I'm not big into Grease. Their songs are earworms, but they don't really do anything for me. Yeah,
and I think like I'm going to say something that's just going to offend so many people here. I think it's for washed up, sad old people who can't get over their glory days. Yeah.
It is a movie about people who peaked in high school because they're all meant to be like 15-year-olds, but they're being portrayed by 47-year-olds.
Did you
that was weird.
Did you ever see Avenue Q?
Yeah. Avenue Q is good. Oh, do you know what one I do like? West Side Story.
West Side Story.
That's an older one that I like.
Fair enough. What about Phantom of the Opera?
I don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, I don't either.
None of his musicals have really ever done anything for me because they seem so him. Like, I can't separate him from any of them. Like, I hate Cats. Cats is awful.
Cats is awful.
I like some of the songs in Evita.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. I'm a bit more into like contemporary musicals than the older classical.
What about
stuff.
Jekyll and Hyde?
I don't know it.
So they did a musical of Jekyll and Hyde, and it's apparently really good, but I've never seen it.
No. There's a musical of Mars Attacks, which is like it's like a Beauty and the Beast sort of movie where a woman falls in love with one of the Martians. There's an off-Broadway version of Last Starfighter as well, which is pretty good.
I heard about that. Also, there's supposed to be a really good Catch Me If You Can musical as well.
Yeah.
It's not running at the moment. Do you know what I hate? I hate when in England when they probably do it in Broadway as well when they decide on a band. Like We Will Rock You, the musical.
I do not like jukebox musicals.
No, I hate them.
They're rubbish. They're pointless.
What was the one with Tom Cruise in it? That they made a film
Rock
of?
Something. I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
Rock of
I
Ages.
hated it. Rock of Ages. Hate it. Fucking
Yeah.
stupid. You create a story and then you write the songs for the story. Doing it the other way round doesn't work.
No, I don't. I really,
Awful. It's probably one of the reasons that I'm not the biggest musical fan because of shit like that.
Yeah. Because it's one of the the Four Seasons had one. Not the Four Seasons, Four Tops had like a musical.
Yeah.
And it's just a jukebox musical. And I don't see the point. There's a really, really good Comedy Bang Bang sketch, which is them making a jukebox musical of...
Right.
Oh, I can't remember who the band is. I think it might be the Four Tops.
Right.
But they could only afford the licensing to one song, so they play that one song over and over and over again.
I can't remember what the Four Tops.
Oh, what is it? I think it was the Four Tops.
Was.
I don't remember. Earth, Wind and Fire, maybe. I don't remember. It was one of those like
Wait
60s.
a minute, no, was it? They didn't do a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons one, did they?
Did they?
Is that what you're thinking of?
It might be that one that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Was it Begging? Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
Jersey Boys.
Jersey Boys. Yeah.
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got there.
We got there in the end. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
but
four
shit
of
like,
something.
But that's the shit that kicked it off. And then you had like a John Bon Jovi musical and
so
a
pointless.
Queen
I don't
musical.
like it.
It's so abysmal. It's just bereft of all creativity.
I've got to wonder, how many people do you think got into musical theatre because of the Green Day musical?
God, I don't know.
Because that must have like bridged a couple of gaps between fans of pop punk and musical theatre.
I do like when bands do albums that are specifically meant to be
everything
like a rock
Coheed and Cambria
opera.
ever did. Yeah.
And it's supposed to almost like lend itself as if it were a musical, but then to take that and then write a story around it, that just is so cringy. I just want to die.
Yeah. I think I'm a bigger fan of sing-through musicals than story narrative musicals. I think I prefer it when everything is sung. I think it's more interesting. There's a Moby Dick musical which is sung through, but nobody's ever uploaded it anywhere, and I'm so curious what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love musicals. I'm a big musical fan.
I can't imagine that's a very rhythmic type of musical.
Yeah.
It must be almost like singing some of the lines.
Yeah,
of the book.
I think so. Yeah. That's what Natasha and Pierre's like in a lot of it, where it's them just like it's singing their narration. The same guy who wrote that, it's another musical which is like an original, story, which is I think it's an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, but it might be some other kind of like addiction meeting.
Right.
But the entire thing is a cappella, and it's just a meeting of one of their like round table meetings with each other.
That does sound quite good.
It's really, really good. Yeah. And there's a bit where he's going through his story about why he's there, and they're all like humming to like in agreement with him, or like to say that they're listening, but it's going with the music. It's great.
I know another thing that's a good musical: the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, yeah, musical
Once
episodes are
More
really good.
with
I love musical episodes. Yeah.
Also, the
Yes,
Strange New World one was pretty good.
I haven't seen it. That
There was a few songs that were a bit duff, but if you have a sense of humour and you like Star Trek, it's worth checking out.
The Scrubs musical episode is really good.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I can't think of any more. I think that's quite an exhaustive list from someone who's said they don't like musicals. And
a television musical that I think everybody should watch because it is some of the best writing that has been on television in many, many, many years is My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's fantastic. It's so good. All the way through. Like, all the seasons are fantastic. Josh Groban shows up a couple of times, and he's great. So, I'm a big fan. I like musicals. Yeah.
There you go.
Also, Spivzy needs to help me find the completely legit video recordings of Broadway productions I know they have tucked away somewhere. I don't have any illegal ones. They used to all be on Pornhub. Yeah.
There's follow-up questions here, Spiv, but I'm not asking them to you.
No, it was like back in the day before everybody had to have a verified account to upload anything to Pornhub. People were putting up illegal recordings of Broadway musicals. That's how I watched Hamilton for the first time, was on Pornhub.
I remember that they went before the Internet Archive and the stuff like that we sometimes watch films on. Cartoons were being uploaded to Pornhub as well.
Yeah. It's really funny. Oh no, the Broadway elites are busting down my door.
The Broadway elites. They're clicking their way down the street as we speak.
Da-da-da-da.
Swinging their batons in a circular fashion.
Yeah. With my last breath, I curse Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We all do.
We all do. Is he a Tory now? He's always been a Tory, hasn't he?
Well, probably. He's got money and he's white. Yeah. He's a Tory.
We've got an email here from London Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean. It's entitled, It's Greek to Me. Thanks. Hound Doggy Dogs. 2 words. I love Danny DeVito.
Yeah, same.
He was the only part of the Lorax worth saving.
Yeah.
If Danny DeVito joined the MCU, either live action or cartoon, who would you cast him as?
Puck. I probably would have cast him rather than Peter Dinklage as I can't remember the name of the dwarf, but
no, I don't remember his name either.
That builds
Ethios or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, something I can't remember. I think it would have been funny to stick him in Deadpool as the Wolverine.
Yeah, that would have been really funny. Yeah,
it would have been funnier than Henry Cavill because I think that's maybe what might happen, and I don't care about that, quite frankly. I think the guy is a perfectly nice. I've got a real soft spot for Henry Cavill because I think he's been shit on by a couple of franchises.
Yeah,
and I really think he seems like just a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
He was a good Superman in a bad Superman universe.
Yes.
And I think that is a real shame.
Dude, that Superman trailer.
Yeah,
jeez.
Looks great,
man, that looks good.
The only thing I don't like is Guy Gardner's haircut. That's literally the only thing.
I like it because it looks like he does in the cartoon.
But at the moment, Guy Gardner has a very sort of like shaved at the sides, spiky douchebag haircut, and I think that suits him as well. Yeah, essentially, yeah. And that's the only thing that I think doesn't fit the aesthetic as well because the costume is just so camp. It's just ridiculous. But I loved Crypto. I think Rachel Brosnahan is one of the most beautiful women who ever lived, so I think she's going to be an absolute... And she's really great as, like, Maisel in Fabulous Miss Maisel.
Yeah.
And she's really good in House of Cards. Don't watch that because it's the Kevin Spacey thing. But she was really great in that, so I'm really excited to see her as Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And he looks great. Do you know what? Nicholas Hoult is phenomenal.
I really like him. Everything he's in.
Everything is in, yeah.
It's... Even if the movie's not that good, he's good in it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think the Tolkien movie was very good, but he's great in it.
Have you seen Nosferatu yet?
No, not yet. No.
Because he's in that, isn't he? And I'm wondering, do you know what? He's going to be a fucking better Lex Luthor than douchebag McDouchison.
Oh God, yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. Because he might actually be in this movie.
Yeah, Lex Luthor might be in it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would have cast him as the dwarf on the Vandalier or whatever that's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think like...
But no, he's Puck, isn't he? He's
Puck,
he's straight up Puck, yeah.
Yeah, I'd cast him as Detective Chimp in DC.
Oh man, that would be good. I wish they would do a Detective Chimp teaming up with the Riddler.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
I'm reading the Tom King run of Batman at the moment, which is very it's almost like highbrow Batman.
Yeah.
And it's during the run where he is engaged to Catwoman and they are going to get married. The massive drawback of that run is that they call each other cat and bat in an affectionate term, and I'm just like, every time it does it, I'm just like, my hackles go up.
Yeah,
but it's really great. He does a team up issue with Detective Chimp, where Detective Chimp is trying to save the son of his old handler before he got his powers, because he's like got in with a bad crowd, and the boy accidentally shoots him, and Detective Chimp doesn't tell Batman where he's gone. And it's just really good, and it's like shows the differences between them, and like Chimp accuses Batman of being ashamed of him, ashamed to be seen with him in public, and treating him like an animal, and Batman has to convince him that he's not ashamed of him, he's just Batman, so he's a dickhead. It's really great. Great.
A lot of the newer DC stuff is quite good at
it is really good,
bridging that gap between the silly and the serious, like all of the Hanna-Barbera comics that they did.
Yeah, the Batman Bugs Bunny cartoon comic was so good.
Yeah,
it was so good. There's been a lot of really good DC stuff, especially after Rebirth, when they ditched the New 52 and sort of like amalgamated the universes back. I read Doomsday Clock the other day, the Watchmen sequel that is Superman centric, and it was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, cool.
It was really good. And then I read the Heroes in Crisis, which is where they've got that sanctuary place where people are getting therapy. You hear like confession booth stuff from the superheroes, and that's really good as well. But I'd get him to play Detective Chimp in DC or Puck in Marvel. I think those two roles are perfect for him.
Yeah,
I'm angry that they didn't let him play Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, that would have been really good. Yeah. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds enough, but
but it doesn't fit.
No.
Do you know who I would have got him to do as well? I would have got him to voice Toad in Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah,
that would have been really good.
Yeah,
a gruff Captain Toad.
Yeah, why not? That is our emails. So,
all right then. You're going to tell me what you want to do next time?
Yeah.
You wouldn't tell me off mic.
Yeah, because it's it's an important one. It's my birthday in a week.
Oh.
So we're going to do something that I want to watch.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we do half a show based on what you want to watch.
Yeah, but this time it's important.
Oh, okay. I did jerry rig the theme so I could watch Hercules.
Yeah, exactly.
Time, so.
We're doing something we should have done a long time ago. It's you've been on the cards for months.
This is going to be so weird.
We're watching Digimon the movie.
Yeah, all right. What are we going to pair that with?
Digimon Tamers, the pilot episodes of Digimon Tamers, the third season of the Digimon Adventure series.
Okay, send me the links.
Okay, I'll send you the wiki link to Digimon the movie first, so you can see what you're getting into.
I have never seen Digimon.
Well, it's about time you started.
Yeah. I just went back to Discord and there's that picture of the man with the micropenis.
just suddenly appeared. Yeah. And here's the link to Digimon Tamers. Digimon Tamers, the entire thing is available on archive.org.
Okay.
There you go.
I mean, Digimon Tamers looks more. Why do they look like turtles? They've got like dots for nostrils, so they look like Squirtle.
Digimon Tamers is the best Digimon series, and I'm not alone in thinking that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna double pick. I thought you were gonna do Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I've never really got into Yu-Gi-Oh. I watched it as a kid, but I never got past the island where Pegasus is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and when they throw Exodia into the water. I think
you're saying words. You're just saying words to me.
I never collected the cards for Yu-Gi-Oh, so it never got into me that much. But I did play all of the Digimon games that were available to actually get, and I did play a lot of Pokemon. So those were my two things.
Fair.
Yeah, but yeah, we're doing Digimon because I love Digimon.
All right.
I'm going to spend like the entire 2 hours just enthusing about Digimon and embarrassing myself with how much I know about it.
Okay, all right. It'll be like the Dragon Ball episode where I had to ask you lots of questions.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're well overdue an episode of Rich totally out of his depth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Digimon next episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have to do
Digimon
episode art anymore.
Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon, Naron, Toonhounds.
There you go. I mean, that's the theme tune for next week. All right. So that's what we're doing next time. If you want to suggest themes, you could just head over to the Discord. No one suggests themes anymore.
They do occasionally, but I think it's more of like a casual suggestion.
Yeah, we've got laid-back audience.
Yeah, we're all just loosey-goosey.
Nice. Yeah. But if you want to suggest anything to us, if there's something you love personally that we haven't touched, I mean, that's weird. If there's something you love personally that we haven't touched, not your private parts, we're not doing that. But if there's a cartoon that you love from your childhood or now or whatever, is important to you, we haven't talked about it before on the show, then just let us know on the Discord and we'll help you build a theme around it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's stuff like today where we find stuff or rediscover our love for something that we've loved forever. But there's also sometimes when we genuinely find something that we've never seen before that we are like, this is good.
Yeah, like that. The big fish in Begonia.
Yeah, Fish Police.
Fish Police. Yeah. Actually,
yeah.
Every time we watch anything about fish, it's ended up being really good.
Yeah, it's weird. Ponyo. That was about fish, and that was good.
What's up with that? Why? Like,
I mean,
we haven't watched Help I'm a Fish, and I know that's not a good movie.
No,
but
or
maybe
that shark thing with Will
Shark
Smith.
Tale.
Shark Tale.
Or Shark, the Marvelous, whatever it's called, the one with Jimmy Stewart in. What's it called? With the magical talking fish, which is animated.
Oh, I can't remember what that's called.
I can never remember what that one's called. Mr. Fliblick or something? Mr. Plimpo? Mr. Plimbo? Mr. Yep.
Quit while you're behind, Spiff.
Mr. Plinkett. I think it's Mr. Plinkett. I don't know.
Mr. Plinkett is the thing from Red Letter Media.
Is it?
Yeah.
That then.
If you want to come on the Discord and settle whatever this fish film is called, then you need to head over to Patreon, where for as little as how much, Spiv?
£1, which is
£1.
Like, what is that? Like $1.20? I don't know.
$1.20.
The economy's in shambles.
Yeah. Well, it's about to get worse. President-elect. Then you can just donate that to us via Patreon, and then you essentially get access to the Discord, you get access to the sidecast, which we really do need to do another one. We talked about doing a Daredevil rewatch before the April.
We watched a couple of them.
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
we'll do that. We'll do that next time. I'm going to start watching them through again anyway. I finished. I'm going to interrupt my outro. I finished Better Call Saul.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? That last episode.
Might be the best thing I've ever seen on TV.
It's so good. I really wanted to watch Nobody again the other day, but I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. Yeah. So I just watched the fight scene on the bus instead.
Yeah, it's a good film. He's great.
He's really good.
But Better Call Saul might be the best thing I've ever seen on television. It had me so gripped.
Good. Yeah, it's one of those where you think there's no right to be this good.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off. It shouldn't be this good.
But, I mean, every character is just perfect.
Yeah.
Kim Wexler
is
Rhea
brilliant.
Seehorn is one of the best... Kim Wexler's one of the best characters that's ever been written.
Yeah.
It's just great. And I'm so glad the ending ended in a way that was sort of open enough that I could create my own ending.
Yeah, which is a bit better than El Camino.
Yeah. I've not seen El Camino. I've seen Breaking Bad, obviously, but I've not seen El Camino.
You should watch El Camino.
I will. I probably because I'm doing a Breaking Bad rewatch, so I'll probably watch it after that. But Breaking Bad, I was super satisfied with the ending.
Yeah, really good ending. Yeah.
Better Call Saul, super satisfied with the ending. But Jesse is not my favourite character, so But anyway, So we digress. So, end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back in 2 weeks for more Toon goodness. In the meantime, please be kind to yourselves. and everyone else around you, unless they're Nazis, and then go punch them in the dick.
Yep. It's always morally right to punch a Nazi.
Always. We will see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.